So guys, I've always have to do these videos, and it really frustrates me that people continue to accuse, Manny Pacquiao of looking to duck at 42 years of age. And listen, I'm not a Manny Pacquiao fanboy, far from it, right? But the reason why I'm frustrated because Manny Pacquiao is 42 years of age and he's given us a lot of entertainment over the years. Fought some of the best in his era. And yet we got guys like Crawford and Spence fans that are saying that Manny Pacquiao is avoiding him at the age of avoiding Crawford by asking for 40 million. Is Manny Pacquiao avoiding Terence Crawford for asking 40 million? Absolutely not. That's how much Manny Pacquiao thinks he's worth. That's how much Manny Pacquiao thinks he deserves for a fight like that. He got 20 million to fight Thurman, but however, Crawford's a lot tougher fight. Many people view Crawford as pound for pound the best. Now, Manny Pacquiao might be able to get that kind of money in this Middle East because the fight, he won't get 40 million in America. That's why I don't think the fight happens. But some people are starting to say the reason why Manny Pacquiao is asking for that kind of money because it's a financial duck. Manny Pacquiao knows that he's not going to get that, or that fight doesn't generate that kind of money where it can pay him 40 million. So he's intentionally asking for something so absurd that, the fight doesn't happen. So he can say, oh, well, they couldn't pay me the money that I wanted. I don't. Why are we saying that? Manny Pacquiao deserves 40 million to fight Terence Crawford. Why doesn't he? Why doesn't he? Manny Pacquiao's made more than $40 million, hasn't he? See, and then you got Crawford fans saying, well, Manny Pacquiao wants to take, there's a 50 million pot and Manny Pacquiao wants to take 40 million and give Terence Crawford 10 million. When was the last time Terence Crawford earned 10 million in a fight? Manny Pacquiao's earned more than 40 million in a fight. So he's not asking for something that he's not earned before. I'm pretty sure he's earned near around that. With Mayweather, he earned way more than 40 million. And I'm pretty sure there's other fights that were pushed that he made close to 40, if not more than 40 million. So all that nonsense about him wanting 40 million and Crawford getting 10 million. Crawford's never made more than 10 million. He's never made probably close to 10 million. Most of his purses have been 5 million. Half of that. So where do you think Crawford deserves more than 10 million? He's never made more than 10 million in his whole career, in one fight in his whole career. Like, he's not made 10 million. His highest payday was probably 5.5 million, and that was probably against Amir Khan. He's not made more than 10 million, not made close to it. So what makes you think that he deserves more than 10 million against Pacquiao? Pacquiao's made more than $40 million. He's made more than $40 million. So for me, Manny Pacquiao's not ducking. Now, do I think Manny Pacquiao's being unrealistic? I said that I don't think Manny Pacquiao's really asking for 40 million. I said I think financially he's trying to negotiate with Crawford and his camp. That they're starting off with 40 million. I'm pretty sure if it goes down to 30, 25, maybe he might take it. He might take 30. He might take 30. But I feel that that's how negotiations start, right? You start off high, and then you come down. But Manny Pacquiao might be serious about the 40 million demands. But for me, it's not ludicrous for him asking that kind of money. He's 42 years of age. He's fighting a guy who's considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I do believe that that kind of money is reasonable for that kind of fight. But some of the Crawford fans, because Crawford's not a star, or some of the Spence fans, they think that Manny Pacquiao's trying to price himself out of a fight. He's not. He's not. At 42 years of age, right, Manny Pacquiao, with what he's... If it was a guy that hadn't achieved a lot and he's asking for that kind of money, you'd think he's crazy. But Manny Pacquiao, with what he's achieved and the money that he's made throughout his career, I don't think it's unrealistic for him asking for 40 million at all. I think it's reasonable. In this current climate, right, yes, I think it will be difficult to raise that. But I do think, like I said, it's a negotiation tactic. You're not going to get Manny Pacquiao for peanuts. You're not going to offer him 3 million or 4 million and expect him to fight for that kind of money. Manny Pacquiao's earned a shed load of money throughout his career. And if you look at the money he made for Thurman, it was almost 20 million. And that was against a guy who wasn't the best pound for pound fighter in the world. This is what Crawford fans don't understand, and Spence fans. Thurman wasn't considered pound for pound when Pacquiao fought him, and he still made 20 million. Crawford is a pound for pound, one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. Don't you think that in itself deserves more than 20 million? Think about it. Now, just the fact that Crawford isn't a star and Crawford can't pull in the revenue, and you're asking, you're basically the revenue would be being pulled in by a 42-year-old, right? That's the problem here. That Crawford, although he's a pound for pound star and he is one of the best fighters in the world, unfortunately he's not a star power. So that 40 million that Manny's asking for can't be generated through Crawford. It's going to be generated through Manny. That's why, again, I think the 10 million that he's offering, 10 million to Crawford, that, you know, people are saying that Manny's taking 40, is generous, because Crawford doesn't bring anything to the table, really. If you look at it from a financial standpoint, unfortunately, Crawford's not a star like that. He's not a star like that. And it's sad that he's not been promoted well. Some people say that, you know, it's his own fault. Some people say that he's not been promoted well. Either way, you know, whether he's not been promoted well, whether he's not promoted himself that well, whatever it is, there's a problem. There's definitely an underlying problem. And it's sad that a guy of Terence Crawford's ability is now not getting fights because his star power isn't that great. And guys like Manny Pacquiao are asking for a certain amount of money. Porter is asking for a certain amount of money. And unfortunately, they're not paying him. Now, a lot of Crawford fans, what they do is they go through Porter's resume and say, oh, he only earned 1 million for that. He only earned 2 million for that. He only won 500,000 for that. Trying to justify that why Bob Arum offering Porter 2 million is fair. Okay, I get what you're saying. But surely when you're fighting the pound for pound best in Crawford, right? See, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that he's fighting pound for pound the best fighter in the world, but then have the same money. It doesn't work like that. See, what you're doing is you're making yourself look silly, because at 1 minute you're saying Crawford is the best in the world. Then at the next minute you're saying that he should be, the fighters that fight him should be paid the same money that they get paid fighting other guys. It doesn't work like that. If Pacquiao got paid 20 million to fight Keith Thurman, right, then surely asking for double to fight a guy that's considered the best pound for pound fighter in the world isn't unrealistic. But the problem, here's where the problem is, and here's why a lot of Crawford fans don't bring up that your man unfortunately isn't a star. Your man unfortunately can't sell tickets, and your man unfortunately can't sell pay-per-views. That's where the problem lies. And that's why he's not getting these fights. Because if Crawford was a Canelo, he'd be getting these fights. He'd be getting a Pacquiao fight. He'd be getting a Spence fight. He'd be getting a Porter fight. Because Bob Arum, the reason why Bob Arum is not offering Porter a lot of money, you know why? Because he knows the Crawford and Spence and the Porter fight isn't going to do big numbers. He knows he's going to make a loss. Like he's been making a loss on all of Crawford's fights. So he's not willing to offer a money just for a huge money to a challenger, just for a fight, just to get Crawford a marquee fight, because he knows he's going to make a loss. So that's the problem Arum is having right now, right? And Crawford isn't a big enough star. He's not a big enough entity for them to be able to sell and pay the guys what they need to be paid. It's a sad, sad state of affairs. That's what's happening. That's from a neutral standpoint. Right, I've favored Crawford a lot of times. I've slammed Crawford a lot of times. But for me, that's the problem here. That Crawford isn't a star power. And unfortunately, his promoter is not able to offer the guys that want to fight him. Who want to fight him. Porter, Pacquiao, these guys want to fight him, but they want a price. Pacquiao asking for 40 million, it's not unreasonable. I think, you know, you can come down to 30 million. But I do think that that's a fair deal. Or I do think that kind of money frame that Pacquiao is asking for, I think he should be getting for a guy against pound for pound the best in the world. When you're fighting the pound for pound best in the world, the money should resonate that. The money should equate to that. But unfortunately, because Crawford isn't a star power and Crawford can't generate the revenue through his fights, Manny asking for that is unrealistic, and Crawford fans try to justify it. It's not. You see, when Pacquiao was pound for pound the best in the world, look at what his challengers were getting paid. A lot of money. Right? If Pacquiao fought a legend, I'm talking when he fought Mayweather, when he fought Miguel Cotto, you think those guys were getting paid $2 million or $3 million? They were getting paid stupid money. They were getting paid a lot of money, right? Crawford, unfortunately, and Manny, and by the way, Manny Pacquiao is a huge household name, right? Manny Pacquiao is a pay-per-view star. So, for me, it's the money that he's asking for is not unreasonable. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be possible. I think unless this fight goes to the Middle East where an investor comes in and pays them the money, I don't think the number that Manny wants is practical. Even if his starting point is 40 million and he's willing to come down, I still don't think even 30 million. The fight in America doesn't generate 30 million for Pacquiao. It doesn't. The only way this fight happens is if the fight goes to the Middle East and a rich guy comes in and pays both guys what they want. Otherwise, the fight doesn't happen. Because like I said to you, Crawford isn't a star like that. Crawford, unfortunately, here in America, that fight should be so big here in America that it should be able to generate that kind of income and revenue where Manny could be paid 30, 40 million. But unfortunately, it doesn't. Because Crawford his brand hasn't grown to the extent where, you know, guys can be... He's not a cash cow, basically, like a Canelo. See, when you're fighting Canelo, you're getting a huge payday. When you're fighting Crawford, you're not getting a huge payday at all. He himself is trying to look for you know, huge money. You know, he himself is getting paid $4 or $5 million a fight, which is not huge money. Let's be honest. For a pound for pound best, it's not. You know, look at what Canelo gets as pound for pound best. Crawford doesn't get anywhere near that. So that tells you Crawford's star power is of such. He's not a star. He's a star in boxing, but he's not a star to the casuals. And that's where the problem lies when you get these guys not wanting to take the money, because they're looking at it. We're fighting the best pound for pound fighter in the world, but yet you're offering us peanuts. What's going on? Pacquiao's thinking, I just fought Keith Thurman, who wasn't a pound for pound best in the world, who wasn't as tough a fight as Crawford, but yet they can't even pay me what I got paid for Thurman. But yet Crawford fans are trying to justify that when was the last time Pacquiao got 40 million, or when was the last time Porter got 2 million. But when was the last time Pacquiao and Porter fought the best pound for pound fighter in the world? Do you understand where I'm coming from? So you got to look at these things from a neutral standpoint, not just from a Crawford standpoint. Crawford is one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. The money should equal that. The money should reflect that. Not a decrease. Not, oh, well, Porter got 2 million to fight Errol Spence, right? Why should he get more? No, but Crawford is one of the best pound for pound. He's considered the best in the world by many. So surely he should get something that reflects that. Surely he should get more than what he got than all of those guys. But no, you know, this is the problem. This is why Crawford can't get big fights. And this is why I think he'll struggle to get big fights. Because a lot of people want to be paid when they fight him. But unfortunately, his star power is of such that the money's just not there, in my opinion. So leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.